Welcome to the Cookie Sticks class. This cookie cutter can be found at any baking supply store. There's many designs that you can do on this shape, but we're going to be doing these 4 designs together. For this class, you'll need red, white, brown, black, light green, and dark green frosting. So let's start. Get your white piping frosting, and you're going to outline the edges. Make sure that those corners meet up to create that barrier for your flooding frosting. Grab your flooding frosting, and you're going to start along the outer edges and work your way into the center. Get your boo-boo stick and do those small circles to drag the icing to the edges. For the tree, you're going to start with the brown. Grab your brown piping frosting and you're going to draw a line straight across the rectangle. Next, grab your dark green piping frosting and you're going to draw angled lines from the outer edge of your cookie to the center to create that pine look. Start at the bottom, do it all the way to the top. Then do the same on the other side. Let that dry, and you're going to come in with a second layer on both sides. And one more time, let those dry and add a third layer so that you get a really fun pattern and a layered look for your 3D royal icing design. And there's your rectangle cookie tree. For the next cookie, grab your red piping frosting and we're going to outline the edges of the cookie. Get your red flooding consistency and go around the outer edges and work your way into the center. Grab your boo-boo stick, make those small circles to drag the icing to the edges. We're going to add our Santa details. Once the red base is dry, you're going to get your black piping frosting and you're going to create his belt by doing a sideways rectangle in the middle of the cookie. Draw a zigzag line to avoid craters. Get your white piping frosting and we're going to create a beard. If you want to trace this, do it with edible marker. And again, add the squiggly line in the center. Now we're going to add the white detail on his coat. For this part, you can do it by putting some lines together and then using your boo-boo stick to combine them. Or you can do it by making a rectangle on both the top and the bottom and then going ahead and filling in those sections. Once those sections are dry, fill in his belt with black flooding consistency and then you'll fill in the beard with white flooding consistency. Again, make sure that you're doing this in steps and letting each step dry in between to get that 3D effect. Let's come back in and add some details. Add some black polka dots for his buttons. I wanted to add some gold in there for Santa Claus's buttons, so I added some gold pearls. Get your white piping frosting, and you're going to outline his beard. Next, let's give him a buckle. And again, with your white piping frosting, you're going to draw a square for his buckle. I wanted to make it a little thicker, so I went over it a second time. Now let's work on our gingerbread. Get your brown piping frosting. And outline your cookie. Grab your brown flooding frosting, and you're going to work along those outer edges and then work your way into the center. Get your boo-boo stick and make those small circles to drag the frosting to the edges. Let's add in some details. Get your white piping frosting, and we're going to add that frosting look for the gingerbread. Do a little squiggly line at the top and bottom of your cookie. Start at one end and go to the other. For the buttons, I did one light green button, one dark green button, and one red button, and I used the piping consistency for all of that. Again, get your piping consistency for the bow tie, and I drew 2 sideways triangles. Let that dry, and then you'll come back in with your red piping frosting and add that center of the bow tie. There you have your gingerbread rectangle. For the lights cookie, you'll grab your white piping frosting and you'll outline your cookie. Make sure that those corners again are matched up to create that barrier for your flooding. Grab your flooding frosting, you're going to work along the outer edges and then work your way into the middle of the cookie. Grab your boo-boo stick and do those small circles to drag the icing to all of the edges. If your frosting isn't spreading out enough, go ahead and just give it a tap on the counter. Grab your black piping frosting and we're going to create the strand for the lights. And doing this, I started at the bottom and then I just did a looping strand. Then you'll grab your red piping consistency to create a light. I did an oval shape, then I did my light green piping consistency, then my dark green, and I followed this pattern along the rest of the cookie. And there's your rectangle cookie with a strand of lights. There's lots of different designs for this cookie cutter. You can be as creative as you'd like.